We're on to regional wastewater reclamation, item 16.
Mr. Chairman,
This is the code text amendment. Supervisor Christie.
unless there's anyone here to address these items, I'd like to move that ordinance number 2019-1 and ordinance number 2019-2 move for approval
And close public hearing.
and close public hearing.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Miller, please.
I had some questions on this one. It sounds like the United States Forest Service has permitted Pima County to operate a discharge field up on Mount Lemmon and have some sort of a moratorium on being able to connect or to the wastewater system up there. And right now we have 32 customers that are being served by the Pima County wastewater system up there, 5 customers on standby, and it says we have 40 connections available. And that's where I'm getting confused, is if we have 40 connections available, do we have to build excess capacity? Because that comes up to 77.
Chairman Elias and Supervisor Miller, the system is currently only being utilized at about 25% of its capacity. We have plenty of extra capacity for more connections. There's 32 customers now. The Forest Service has put a limit of 77 connections, which is another 45 if my math is correct. We run about, on average, 3,500 gallons per day. The volume capacity that the Forest Service has placed on us is 12,500, and the plant capacity itself is actually permitted with ADQ at 15,000. We've been trying to get people in the Forest Service to even allow a little bit higher flow, but we really don't need it right now. We're at plenty of capacity.
Okay, so I guess I did see we're removing the low flow requirement simply because industry standards have surpassed that requirement that they imposed. You're talking about in 2023, you're talking about adding some more capacity, roughly $3 million.
Supervisor Miller, we're not looking to add any capacity. Here just earlier last year, early in 2018, we went through and did a complete shutdown review analysis and fixed a number of items that facility had not been down since 1982. And we were surprised at the condition it was in. It's actually in pretty good condition. And so with the condition that it's in and the work we did, as well as the capacity, the only items that we're projecting for in 2 fiscal years in 2021 is to spend up to $3 million if approved to upgrade electrical. We have very outdated electrical issues. Our employees work, their office is in a switchgear room, which is not a good place to be working, so we need to get that changed. And we also, that facility is only run 7 days a week during day shift hours when people are staffing it. And we want to upgrade the SCADA system up there so our central control center can keep tabs on that facility in the off hours, and we don't have to send people back up the mountain whenever there's some concern. And finally, the third item is because of the sporadic nature of flow. You know, you get higher flows on some weekends than during the weekday, or some times of year versus other times of year, based on obvious use of the mountain. It's very challenging to operate a wastewater treatment facility with the flows, the ranges of flows that sees. So we want to put an equalization tank that can kind of control the flow and make it a little steadier over day in, day out. And so the SCADA, the electrical, and that equalization tank are approximately, there's a few smaller projects, but that's the $3 million that we're looking at spending in a couple of years.
Okay, I guess this is a question that probably was answered a long time ago, but why didn't they allow septic systems on Mount Lemmon instead of? Is it the federal government that wouldn't allow it?
There are a number of septic systems up there currently. We serve 30-some customers, but there's over 400 homes up on Mount Lemmon. And the problem is just where the plant is located and where the houses are. To be able to get those houses to the facility is quite expensive or not capable because of the elevations and the geographic rock structures and stuff in the way.
Okay, I guess then,
Supervisor Miller, could I just add also, historically, there was a real problem up there on Mount Lemmon back in the 70s, late 70s and early 80s, where actually the creek up there and Marshall Gulch became polluted with people's sewage from that area. And so there was a real concerted effort to kind of stay away from septic systems as well, because that just continues to add to the problem. And so that's the genesis of how this whole system got built up there to begin with. So
Okay,
just from a historical perspective,
Yeah.
that's another reason why we try and suggest to people not to go with septic systems up there.
okay. And then if we have the capacity, why are there customers on standby?
The standby program was after the fire. I think it was the Aspen fire in around '03, if my memory serves me correctly. We allowed people that, the opportunity to rebuild their cabins or their structures. And because some of them took some time, they were worried that they would lose capacity. They would lose the opportunity to tie in because somebody else would come in. So for $1.50 a month, around $18 a year, they paid to hold their place in line. We've been doing that now for 15 years, and we figured, we have plenty of capacity. We've given them plenty of time. We want to do away with that stand in line. Don't pay that $1.50. Just come and see us when you're ready to build. So it was just something that was basically a very inexpensive way for them to hold their place in line, which we don't feel is necessary anymore. So we're kind of going to phase that program out.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Jenkins, the equalization tank that you're contemplating, how big is it?
That system, the current capacity of the plant is a 15,000 gallon per day facility. Forest Service allows 12,500. We figured we'd have a 2 or 3 day capacity, so you're probably looking up to a 50,000 gallon tank. Not a huge tank, where we're hidden in the corner over there, but that would be about as large as we would put in. We haven't worked out that detail yet.
Okay. I'm just concerned about that into the future and what it's made out of, how it ultimately links to the rest of the system. It's all pretty, well, it's just a great concern to me. So, hopefully we'll be getting more information and that your plan starts to exceed any kind of fail-safe system that we need to have up there. Just critical to us. Thank you. Okay. Any further discussion?